Leaving college for the summer is bittersweet, especially bitter when you have to look for a job. My roommate Jules had it easy, or so she thought. Jules was offered a nannying job for her neighbor's grandson Walker, who is 4 years old. Walker and his mom Lizzie had just moved in with his grandparents because Lizzie and his dad David, or DA for short, had quite the complicated relationship. What seemed to be a simple nannying job turned out to be an eye-opening experience.
His dad and his mom were in a very bad relationship. His dad was very abusive towards his mom, and she finally became brave enough to leave. She documented almost 7 or 8 months back so that when she left, she could get a restraining order, and it worked. She has a notebook with just dates and events of everything that had happened. He wouldn't let her have a car. He controlled who she hung out with and who she saw and what she did. I just think that she hit her breaking point, and she didn't want that for her son, so I think that that's why she left. She called the police and asked them to come and get her, and she was very upset and emotionally traumatized. So the police came, no questions asked, picked her up and took her to a women's shelter. That was considered in hiding. No one knew they were there. Your identity is kept anonymous once you're there, and they were there for about 4 days, and then she called her dad and asked him to come and get her and Walker because she knew she'd be safe with her parents. I remember my first day I was really nervous because I had heard a story of Walker calling Lizzie a bad word, and I was very nervous to go into someone's house. I've never met this kid before, but going into their house and watching this kid for all day because I was nervous of what he was going to say to me. But the second I walked in the door, he was the sweetest kid. He's so friendly. He was like, "Hi, I'm Walker. Do you want to play with me?" And I was like, "Sure, that's awesome." And we played with monster trucks outside. He's the sweetest kid. You can tell that he's been through a lot. One thing that he's still trying to overcome is he pees his pants. He goes to 2 different counselors now, and they've both said that is caused by the trauma of being in a house with parents that are screaming at each other and fighting with each other. But yeah, he'll just be playing, he'll pee his pants, he won't even realize he does it.
After Jules got comfortable with Lizzie and Walker, the secrets came pouring out. There were a bunch of heart-wrenching stories, but these 3 really display the type of man that DA is.
One story that I have heard was they were driving in the car. Lizzie and DA were in the front seat and Walker was in his car seat in the back. And DA said that he didn't like how Lizzie was driving and he hit her upside the head in front of Walker. Lizzie was at the grocery store, I believe, and Walker had to go to the bathroom, and he's 4 years old, so obviously he needs some help. And DA put him on the toilet in the bathroom and left him there for over an hour, and Walker was crying, but DA wouldn't go in. Walker had to wait until Lizzie came home to help him, and Lizzie said that he was crying and really upset. We were in the grocery store one day. It was me, Walker, and his mother, and Lizzie was waiting in line to go check out, and Walker was running around the store, and she was like, "Walker, come here," and he wasn't coming, and she turned around, and he was giving her the middle finger, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, where did you learn that? Why are you doing that?" And he said, "Daddy told me to surprise you with this." I don't know what Lizzie's plans are within the next couple years. She's in a pretty bad custody battle with DA right now. But I really hope that I'm around him for a long time. I think that would be really good for him, and he needs other people than just his family to tell him that they love him. He became attached to me, and I became attached to him.
Jules got pretty emotional when she talked about leaving Walker to come back to school. As her roommate, I can tell you that not a day goes by where Walker isn't brought up. The day I conducted my interview just happened to be Walker's first day of school. Jules was swinging back and forth in her desk chair when Lizzie texted her a picture of Walker all dressed up. And let me tell you, I had no idea how fast people could type on an iPhone until I saw Jules respond. Jules was so proud of the little guy, you'd literally think she was his mom.